made children indisciplined. It is here to make us rude, not to respect our parents. And that has been a challenge to some of us as right advocates. But we have been working towards it and then letting them know that the convention talks about responsibilities of children. What should we do in order to respect our parents, what are our responsibilities if we are given the right to education, the right to health care, the right to protection. So this misconception of parents and other people out there have been a challenge to us, because if you go to a platform or you talk about issues, they would be like, this is here to make people indisciplined. And I think another thing is the issue of abuses and rape cases. And but then in that area, we've had a lot of improvement. People have been reporting cases. And then funding would be another challenge when it comes to NGOs. Of course, they would like to create a lot of awareness and then make people to know about the CRC and other documents, other legal frameworks that were done in the Gambia, such as the Children's Act 2005. Some people do not even know about the existence of these things, do not know even the right places to go to if they have cases of abuse, rape, and all that. But then if funding, if there is more funding and then help is given to NGOs, the government, then we will be able to make more sensitization programs, more programs, in order to sensitize the people out there to know about these documents, what their rights are and their responsibilities as well.
Okay, the viewers, you watching this program, like we said earlier, we're discussing the advent of the Convention on the Rights of the Child, commonly called the CRC, and what has been its achievement as we mark 23 years after its adoption by the United Nations. And we want to move on to Fabakary Kale. Like I said earlier, he works with Youth Ambassadors of Peace, or Peace Ambassadors, but then has been engaged with CPA in activities, more especially on a project that tries to look at how can they improve the internal protection policies of organizations. Fabakary, we just want us to talk about these child-safe organizations. I mean, how do you see child-safe organizations contributing toward the realization of this Convention on the Rights of the Child?
Okay, Assalamu alaikum. Like stated by previous speakers, the Convention on the Right of the Child brought about a lot of improvement in the welfare of children and had taken care of abuses and other issues around. But again, we thought it's wise that we look at that into ourselves. I mean, we look at it from our own perspective. Many a time we talk about protection of children from outside. We look at how they are protected at home and so. So this project called CSO try to look at the organization that serve the interests of children, whether they are themselves, safe for children to come and participate. So this is what the project is all about. So what it does is it try to, it provides support to some organizations in the form of training and help them develop or review their child protection policies. Say, for example, you talk about Youth Ambassadors of Peace, you talk about social welfare, you talk about the Gambia Prison Service, you talk about National Youth Council, you talk about NASO. All these are organizations that work with children. But what protection mechanism exists in those very organizations? It's stated if the crop is being eaten up by the fence that is meant to protect the crop, then there will be a problem. So as we are going out doing our advocacy to protect children at home and so, we are also trying to ensure that the organizations that are going out are also safe for children. We've had training for about 30 organizations. This include media houses, Grts was one of them, and some print media, the NGO sectors, the police services, the police child protection unit, I think army, and the prisons. So what we're doing in this project is to ensure that all these organizations have a child protection policy. Or not only a policy for policy's sake, there are a few indicators we look for in these policies. One of them is on their recruitment. What policies do you have in your recruitment system? So that if you appoint an abuser in your organization, that person will continue abusing the children in your own organization. And very little will be done because he will be doing it on the cover of protecting those children. So we're looking at the recruitment policies of those organizations and what should be put in place. We are also looking at training and education in the organization. Because, policies and these conventions are all here, but there are other policies being developed over time, new procedures being developed over time, so that there is need to orient those staffs and the people around those institutions so that they remember those new procedures and new policies, so that they are in line, they're in tune with what is happening at that time in their various organizations for the protection of the children. Again, like I said, the focus of CSO is like, if you stand at your door in the month of August or September and you look up and you see the cloud is blue, what do? You try to look for a raincoat or something to protect yourself if you are going to go out. So this organization will have to serve the children. But then we need to get this protection to protect ourselves. Now the idea is, if we change and we are able to get protection within, then we will advocate for protection outside. Bakari, some other issues that we do as NGOs, that we are protecting children but are not very, good for the children themselves. Like Nebasin talk about the best interest of that child. Say, for example, there is an abuse of a child and then the media is out and the picture is up and everything is out. Well, yes, we are reporting, but is that at the best interest of that child tomorrow? Again, some other issues come up, we want to look for phone and we take the pictures of this child, put it on all the things and go back phone. What impact does that have on that child? So these are the issues that we are looking at from our own action as organizations working with children so that they are safe with us.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Kale, for that explanation. Madam Fanta, we come back to you. Looking at 23 years down the line, of course, I'm sure we have so many years to go because we have a lot of work to do, like you said. Now, at your department level and, of course, at government level, what would you take to be the priorities for now? Today we celebrate 23 years. If you're going to measure up 5 years that is coming, what do you think are the key issues that is important? One, to ensure that the convention is more realized, but also children are more protected in the Gambia.
Bakari, the most important priority is to ensure that families are strengthened, they are supported, that the parents have positive parenting skills, and they're able to retain their children with them and support those children to develop their potentials to the fullest. This is one main focus. And how do we go about this? We are now focusing as a government on social protection to protect the most vulnerable within society. This includes the children and vulnerable families, so that they are empowered with skills and that they have enough resources to enable them to support their children. Without this, Bakari, it will be difficult. And piecemeal programs will not actually address issues of vulnerability in total. So social protection is the main focus now as to how we strengthen these vulnerable families, targeting the most vulnerable, the poorest of the poor, and support them to build up and retain their children, support their children in the homes, and ensure that everybody contributes his or her quota in national development. This is the priority area of government. This is the focus that we've worked on. Just recently, we've launched the first ever National Social Protection Forum, and we continue the debate and look for resources, because all these treaties, the convention, even the Children's Act that we have, need resources. All right, and resources are inadequate. So we must galvanize all efforts to ensure that we target the most vulnerable and give them the resources that we have, support them, build up their skills and their potentials so that they can contribute to national development and end poverty.
Okay, I guess that is great. And of course, everybody will agree that, of course, yes, government have a role to play, but strengthening the community, strengthening the society so that they can give protection to children, for me, I think is much, much better, in the sense that then you don't have to call in any police or call in any social welfare officer to say, come and give children the support, because the community is already strengthened and they understand those issues. We recently, the UNICEF, not yet launched, but the report is out, the mixed report 2010, which indicates some of the achievements in terms of education, retention and enrollment, but also in terms of health facility. But we've seen a reduction in terms of birth registration in some of the regions, and issues of FGM and early marriage going up. As an office, CPA, what strategies do you have, at least to to increase the awareness for some of these things to come up as we had it 2-3 years ago.